Good day, poker peeps. This is Sky with Smart Poker Study, and I'm here to help you make money at the micro stakes. In today's episode, I'm going to show you how I used the KISS cash game ranges. Let me whip these bad boys out right here. Got it laminated. How I used these to play 5,000 hands, 1,000 hands per day, and I made buku bucks at just 5 NL. Let's do this. Gambate!
Souls of the animal kingdom. Eagle, fox, bottlenose dolphin, octopus, house cat. Okay, let's jump this jump.
Alrighty, so let's take a look at my results for a 5,000 hand challenge that I gave myself at the start of this month. So, of course, over here with Poker Tracker 4, played 5,067 hands, made $45.20 with a win rate of positive 17.84. Now I played these 5,000 hands all at 5 NL, so $5 buy-in games, all 6 max, so I made 9 buy-ins for just the 5 days. Absolutely happy about these results. Now the thing about this challenge was two really big parts. Part number 1 is that I challenged myself to use the KISS cash game ranges on Ignition Poker. Now, I developed these ranges a long time ago. I gave them out in my book, Preflop Online Poker. All my Poker Forge members have them. And I developed these ranges, and I knew that they were profitable at the micro stakes. I've demonstrated it in the past. My students, thousands of students, have demonstrated that these are profitable ranges at micro stakes as well. But I'd never really done it for myself in Ignition Poker. And just this year, I've been playing Ignition. You could see 5NL on Ignition. Prior to December, I played 9,500 hands about throughout the year. So I really wanted to push myself to use these ranges, test them out on Ignition Poker against unknown anonymous players, and see how profitable they are. And they were lovely, some very lovely results with the profitability here. Now, on the screen on YouTube, you can see the KISS cash game ranges. I'll discuss how to use these in just a little bit because I'm going to give you a challenge, the same challenge I just did. I will challenge you in just a moment. But you can get the KISS cash game ranges and the special challenge tracker by going to the show notes page, smartpokerstudy.com/KISS challenge. Fill out the form at the top. You will be emailed both the tracker, it's in Excel format, as well as the KISS cash game ranges PDF for you to download and use for the challenge. All right, so let's dive a little bit deeper into the results. We're going to look at my challenge results, the statistics and the win rates, versus the pre-challenge stats and win rates. And for everybody listening to the podcast right now, go to the show notes page, smartpokerstudy.com/KISS challenge. You can watch the YouTube video. It's going to be a little bit easier to follow along when you can see the numbers that I'm referencing. But so for the KISS challenge, I played 5,000 hands at 5 NL. Pre-challenge, 9,500 hands at 5 NL. Pre-challenge, I won $38. During the challenge, I won 45, so a little bit higher winnings with a much higher win rate. My win rate pre-challenge was 8.1 big blinds per 100 hands. During the challenge, 17.8. I doubled my win rate by tightening up like this. Now, pre-challenge, I was a 19/17 player, so still tight aggressive, bordering on getting to like a loose aggressive kind of play. But during the challenge, by following the KISS cash game ranges, I was a 14-11 player. These ranges are going to make you super tight. You're not open raising that often. You're not 3-betting that often. You're definitely not calling raises nor calling 3-bets that often at all. You're going to be a really tight player with these ranges. And this is a key aspect to making money at the micro stakes. Let me show you something right here. We've got this hand where I'm dealt ace queen. Let's just take a look at some of the statistics around the table, and we're going to focus on VPIP. For those who don't know, VPIP is voluntarily putting money into the pot. Now, on this table, I played 178 hands on Ignition Poker on this table. My VPIP is 12. So 12% VPIP means 12% of the time I'm voluntarily contributing money to the pot, basically entering a hand 12%. That's how you can look at it. My other opponents at the table, 29% right here, 28%, and 38%. And a table average, including my low VPIPing, the table averages at 32% VPIP. Well, let me show you why tight ranges make money at the micro stakes. We're going to whip out Flopzilla right here. So my VPIP, as you saw, I'm at 12% V-pipping, right? Now, the loosest player at that table had a 38% V-pip. If we enter 38% here, my 12% range versus his 38%, he's playing 3 times more hands than me. I have preflop equity of 60%. He has 40%, right? Range versus range equity. It's going to be nearly impossible for this player to overcome that mathematical disadvantage in the long run right here. 20% disadvantage he has because he plays way more hands than me. Now, in the short term, anything can happen. He could flop a set of 7s and a set of 6s and a set of 5s 3 hands in a row and crack me 3 times in a row, right? That's always possible. But in the long run, tight ranges win out versus wider ranges. And especially because we're at the micro stakes, a lot of these players are super weak. They don't have the skills to know when to enter a pot pre-flop or not enter, or how to exit a pot post-flop, or how to get value, or how to hand read their opponent. Like, their skills are much less than you. So they're at a skill disadvantage. They're also at a mathematical equity disadvantage. Those two things, man, that's why the tight game is so freaking profitable at the micro stakes. So let's take a look at some other stats. Pre-challenge, I raised first in 26. Now I'm raising first in 18%. The really interesting thing about this is I was folding to 3-bet 73% pre-challenge. But during the challenge, I was folding 68%. So why was I folding more? Are you calling more 3-bets, Sky? Are you looser with calling? No, not at all. Because I raise less often. When I face 3-bets, I have slightly stronger hands in my overall range to defend against them. So I'm folding less often, 5% less often. But interestingly enough, my win rate when I 2-bet and then call a 3-bet, it was at 652 big blinds per 100 hands. That's when I was folding 73%. I'm folding less often now, but I'm making more than double. My win rate is positive 1,452 big blinds per 100 hands. Calling more often, but having tighter initial open raising ranges led to more profitability. Love that right there. My call pre-flop 2-bet was at 4.6 before. It jumped up to 5.9%. So a couple extra percentage points, but here's the thing. I think I just did a really good job during these 5,000 hands calling against the right opponents. I would fold when it felt like a bad situation to enter, but I called and I found good spots to exploit them post-flop. So a critical aspect here is, sure, follow the ranges. If a hand is within the range, it's probably okay to call, but you have to think about the other factors involved. What's the bet size? Who's the player? What's their position? What are their post-flop tendencies? Now, my 3-bet pre-challenge was 6.8%. During the challenge, 3.3%. Less than half of what it was before. Because like I said, the KISS ranges have you playing so much tighter. You're 3-bet bluffing way less, actually 3-betting for value a little bit less as well. But my 3-bet win rate went from 564 to positive 1,600 big blinds, almost 3 times greater by 3-betting even less often right here. I love seeing that. Now, during the challenge, I V-pipped, saw the flop, was in position 203 times with a positive 514 big blinds per 100 hands win rate. That is so good when you are V-pipping, like purposely getting in and choosing to see the flop, right, with the best position. Pre-challenge, I was at positive 152. So by tightening up and really thinking about the spots, following the ranges, oh my gosh, I more than tripled my profitability when I V-pip and saw flop in position. Now, V-pip and saw flop out of position was only positive 319, which is still really good. And of course, when you're out of position or not in position, you have that positional disadvantage. It's harder to make money. So my profitability was less than when in position, but it was still higher than my V-pip and saw flop not in position pre-challenge. And let's take a look now at some C-bet statistics. I'm basically the same kind of player, pretty close. My C-bet on the flop went from 66 down to 59, so I was a little bit more selective in my in my C-betting decisions right here. But my C-bet flop win rate, I'm C-betting less, but it went up from 286 to positive 501 big blinds per 100 hands. That means on average, every time I C-bet the flop, I earned 5.01 big blinds. Really good win rate right there. C-bet on the turn went from 454 big blinds per 100 hands to positive 1,200, almost 3 times as much. And I C-bet turn just as often. 54% pre-challenge versus 53% during the challenge. And then lastly, my C-bet the river went from 30 to 42%. So a little bit of an increase right there. But this is a bummer. My profitability on when C-betting the river went from positive 1,700 down to positive 452. So I'm still profitable, but there were probably a few big losing hands where I C-bet the river and got cracked. Maybe he raised and I had to fold, whatever the situation was. Now it's time for me to challenge you to the KISS 5K Hands Challenge. If you're liking this video on YouTube, please give it a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Leave a comment below. Tell me if you're going to take on this challenge. So the very first thing you need to do, go to smartpokerstudy.com/KISS challenge to download the tracker as well as the KISS cash game ranges. So here is how the challenge goes. There's a few parts to it. Part 1, play strictly cash games, play strictly KISS cash game ranges for 5,000 hands. You could go longer if you want 5, 10, 20,000 hands, completely up to you, but the challenge is for 5K. Now push yourself to play more hands in less time. As you can see, in the entire year, from January through November, at 5NL, I only played 9,400 hands. I really wanted to push myself, striving for a big number of hands in a short amount of time, so I decided 1 week to play 5,000 hands, and I actually did it in the first 5 days of the month. So push yourself to play more hands in less time. Whatever you're currently playing, do more, do it faster. Now, try to play one stake, like 6 max or full ring or only 5NL or only 10NL, whatever it is, because you want that apples to apples comparison. You really want to see how KISS cash game ranges changes your results. So like I said, I only played 5NL this entire time, and I only compared it to prior 5NL play as well. Do not play non-KISS hands. If you take a look right here at the KISS cash game ranges, all of these hands in white, you are not going to play. You're not going to call. You're not going to open raise. You're not going to 3-bet steal. You're not going to call a 3-bet with any of these hands. You are going to play a tight, aggressive game. Now, to help you potentially not call with these, page 3 of the KISS ranges has blackout ranges. So all of those hands, they're not even listed. You can't even read Queen 6 or Jack 6. It's in black. You print these out. It kind of helps you stay focused on just the hands that you can read. These are the ones that you are allowed to play. And also, incidentally, on page 4 of the KISS cash game ranges, I have a student in the Poker Forge who's colorblind, and he told me he has a hard time differentiating. I think he said red from green, maybe, was where it's tough to differentiate. So he said, hey, can you please change the red to pink? And boom, I did that. So in the 4th page of the KISS cash game ranges, it's the exact same ranges, all the calling, all the open raising, all the 3-betting, it's all the same, but I just changed the red color to pink to help the colorblind see a little bit better. But let's take a look at the blackout ranges right here. Do not call with hands outside of the calling range. That's the next important factor. Keep yourself nice and tight. And the biggest reason to stay tight, especially when calling, is because aggressive poker is winning poker. Calling poker generally is losing poker. If you're losing in the microstakes right now, if you're not making money, it's probably because you call way too often. So let's flip the script on that calling. Have you calling super tight in every single position across the board. Now, what I want you to do, once you download the tracker, you could do this pre-challenge or after the challenge, but record your pre-challenge results in column C. You want to see what you're working with, where you're at currently. And I have plenty other videos on YouTube to help you fill out this tracker right here. Or, if you're experienced with Poker Tracker 4, sure, you can figure it all out. You can find the stats. You can find the win rates. After the challenge, after you do your 5,000 hands, record your challenge results just like I did. Record those in column D and then compare them. See where things got better. See if possibly where things worsened for you. Find your leaks and then work to plug those various leaks that you find. Now, you might be saying, Sky, why do I want to play super tight? I love playing loose. Well, especially for anybody loose and losing money, it's a really good challenge to take up. But if you're loose and maybe slightly profitable, you have a win rate of like positive 3 big blinds per 100 hands, I bet you tightening up will do a world of wonder, will work wonders for you, I mean to say. So why you should do the challenge. You're going to learn to play tight and aggressive, which is the bedrock for profitable poker in low stakes live games, as well as low stakes and micro stakes online games as well. Like I showed you earlier in Flopzilla Pro, your tightness, it's really hard for them, the loose players, to overcome overcome that mathematical disadvantages their wide ranges give them against your tight range. Next up, why should you do the challenge? Well, good pre-flop decisions lead to post-flop success. These ranges will keep you nice and tight. They'll help you avoid trouble spots. They're going to keep you decently loose in the best positions, the cutoff and the button, but they're going to keep you nice and tight in the worst positions, in the EP and out of the blinds as well. And staying tight, it's going to help you play post-flop, be able to defend, be able to c-bet a little bit better as well. Finally, you're going to be able to make money at the microstakes with these ranges if you play them strictly for 5,000 hands or even more. Here's an interesting thing. I've had some students who they've been like very loose, 28/7 players forever, just playing super loose. And then they finally learned how to play tight with the KISS cash game ranges. They became profitable and they've never left them. They just keep playing them. And then gradually over time, they add a few hands here and there, but they start off their profitability with the KISS cash game ranges, and they maintain it or get better over time as they learn more in the forge and add some more hands here and there, but they still remain those tight and aggressive players. Let me show you one of my students right here. He took on the challenge, 5,000 hands. He won $121. Now this is at 10 NL. I won 9 buy-ins at 5 NL. He won 12 buy-ins in 5,000 hands at 10 NL. Absolutely crushed it. His red line is really low. His money won without showdown. He was at negative $28 or so. His money won at showdown was positive 148-ish, give or take, and he ended at positive $121. Really loving this graph right here. Now, I don't want to fully like blow smoke up your butt, right? And tell you you're going to win no matter what, that this is the easy way to make money at poker. Not necessarily. Let me show you another one of my students. Now, this student right here did the 5,000 hand challenge with the KISS ranges. This graph just shows 49.96 hands, but she played a little bit more than this. She started off, boom, losing right away. The green line just went down, 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 to where at 3,400 hands, she was at negative $17. And I think she was playing at 5 NL. I'm sorry, I can't remember. 5 NL or 2 NL. I can't remember what she told me. But at 3,400 hands, the final 1,600, she buckled down. She used the ranges. She was really trying to focus, making really good decisions pre-flop and post-flop. In the last 1,600 hands of the challenge, from hand 3,400 up to hand 5,000, she brought it back. She won it back, and she ended at positive $1. I'm sorry, positive like 50 cents or so, right around there. So it's not all roses and sunshine, right? You might get, even though you're playing tight, it's only 5,000 hands. I mean, if you're the kind of player that plays 5,000 hands a week, that's just 1 week of play. Anything can happen in 1 week of play, right? Over 5,000 hands. But she showed what is possible. You could be losing, but then play smart, make good decisions, maybe get dealt some good hands as well. We can see some nice big jumps, some other big declines here in her graph, but she broke even over the last 1,600 hands. So she did a really good job, really proud of her. She's got some stuff she's going to work on, but I guarantee in the next 5,000 hands, she is going to crush it right there. So once again, I want to leave you with a final message. Go to the show notes page, smartpokerstudy.com/KISS challenge. Download the tracker, download the KISS cash game ranges, get started on this challenge right now, 5,000 hands as quick as you can, and tell me your results in the comments down below.